Okay, so believe it or not, we're back to OSPF, and in this case, we are seeing a state machine, right, that is basically controlling an interface that is running OSPF. So basically, if you see here, we have the squares that basically represent states, different states that an interface can be in, and the arrows, right, the different events that can move the interface from one state to the other. For instance, I could be, for instance, when the interface goes up, I could be either, it could be a point-to-point link, right, a point-to-point interface, or it could be a broadcast or a non-broadcast multi-access interface, which could go to different states, right, either DR or VDR or DR other. And guess what? What we have here? We have another state machine, in this case, that controls the different OSPF neighborship states, right? So we start from down to the bottom, then to this drawing on the right, basically going through all the different states a neighborship can be in and different events that basically trigger those state changes, right? Until basically we get into the X-start and exchange states where we start negotiating and exchanging the database descriptors and the LSAs, and start filling up that database that will end up running the SPF protocol, and finally down to my routing table. So again, key topic here is that we are having two different state machines, one for the interfaces, one for the neighborships, and that's basically what OSPF is running under the hood to control all its internal processes. All right, so before we jump into the packet capture, I want you guys to take note of this database description packet, right? And these, particularly on these fields or these option bits that we have here, the I initialize bit, the M, the more bit, and the MS or the master bit, right? And this DD sequence number, the database description sequence number. So where this comes into place? If we go back to the OSPF neighbor state machine, we see that we have this X-start or this exchange start state, which comes before the exchange state, which could be confusing. And if we see before we go to the exchange state, we pass through the negotiation done event. So that means that the X-start state or process is actually a negotiation between the two routers that are becoming neighbors. And what's that negotiation? They basically negotiate who's going to be the master and who's going to be the slave. And that basically means who's going to send first the database descriptor, right, or the database description packet, and who's going to receive that information first. So that's basically the negotiation. And on that database descriptor, they are going to say what are the LSAs or what are the routes they already have in their database at that moment. Okay. Another interesting topic, if you remember at the beginning of the video where we saw the RFC 2328, and there were some others that were bringing some updates and new features. One of them is a proposed RFC 9454, which basically tries to bring an inclusive language to the OSPF RFC, basically changing the master-slave negotiation names to leader and follower, and changing the master bit to the leader bit, right? So basically to be nowadays using this inclusive language, which I think it's a good idea.